Hey guys, Coach Austin here with another yin yoga for recovery. Today we're going to focus on our spine and our back, and we're going to take our spine through all different ranges of motion from extension to flexion and from twisting right, twisting left, and also lateral side to side movement. All the directions our spine can move in. So let's get started. Come onto your mat. And we're going to start actually in standing today in what we call dangling pose or ragdoll. So stand at the front of your mat, separate your feet hip width distance, and grab for your opposite elbows. And bend your knees slightly and drop your head down towards the floor. And you can either keep the hands on opposite elbow, or sometimes it feels good to let the hands drop to the floor too. And here in dangling / ragdoll, we're exposing the spine or taking the spine to flexion. So it's a gentle folding over the legs. The spine can round a little bit. That's okay. But really important not to strain your lower back here. That's why we bend the knees, give the rest of our body a little release. And also just let your head hang heavy and loose. And as you're here, if it helps, set your eyes to one point between your legs at the back of your mat or back of your room, and set your eyes and steady your eyes on that one point. When we focus our eyes, it helps concentrate and focus our mind. If we have wandering eyes or we look all around the room, it tends to be harder to focus, just like life if we're going after a million things. But if we can get specific and clear, just on one point, helps us concentrate and bring the mind from distracted to directed, intentional focus. A few more counts here. If you want to sway side to side, you can. That's going to take us to the lateral movement. Lateral meaning side to side. So moving the spine to the left and then to the right. Very healthy to do all of these poses for our back and our spine. Just shake your head out here. Yes. Shake your head out here. No. And very good. And very gently, nice and slow. You're going to come up. Okay. And take a seat on your mat. Important to be slow. You don't want to rush through it. And especially when we're upside down for a while, we may get lightheaded or dizzy, and that's normal. Just try not to stand or move too fast. Okay, our next pose is what we call seated single leg extension. So you're going to extend your left leg out long, bend your right knee, wing your right knee out like here. So it's half butterfly leg. Then take your arms up to the ceiling, and then hinge from your hips and reach for your left foot here. Drop your head down. And we're slight bend in the front knee, the extended leg. And that's going to release our lower back. Not going to make the hamstrings pull so much. It's going to take quite a bit of the tension out in the stretch, and that's okay. Now here you'll probably feel it in your leg, your extended leg, and also your spine, right? If you're still working on it, and the lower back. We're in flexion here. So this is more of an intense fold or more of a flexion action here. And with a little emphasis on the left side. Or lateral flexion to the left. And slowly come up and switch your legs. So extend your right leg out, bend your left knee, sole the left foot to your inner quad. Wing, the butterfly wing on the left knee out. Reach your arms up and bow, grab for your right foot. Now, if you can't grab your foot, all good. Bend your knee as much as you need to get your hand to your foot. And sometimes really bend the knee a lot. Maybe you just stay here. We're not trying to force the stretch in the hamstring in this video and this intention. We're more interested in our back and our spine here. So if you need to bend the knee a lot to grab the foot, and to bring your chest closer to your thigh, that's great. And I'm going to stay with that because it feels good for me too. And we're still hitting what we're going for, our spine and our back here. Do a gentle rock side to side. And then if you maybe get a little more open, you could start to straighten out the leg. Drop your head down further towards the front leg. And then slowly come up. And this time extend both of your legs out in front of you. Slide your hips back so your hips are beneath your shoulders. Now flex the feet up, knees point up towards the ceiling again. Breathe in, reach your arms up. Slight bend in the knees, bow forward, grab for your feet here. Now this is the deepest part of our fold that we're going to go, most intense flexion here. We're going to hold for about 90 seconds. So as we're here, we bow and lean over the legs and taking our spine to a full flexed flexion position. And we're not forcing the change or the stretch to happen, we're allowing it to happen. We're holding in the position and working on principles of our yin practice. Holding it for time. Holding under tension. Try to be still. Try not to fidget and move. Just try to be still and relaxed. If it helps, you can put your attention on your physical body and take your attention off trying to figure anything out or thinking about anything. Just sort of allowing thoughts to be there and bringing your attention back again and again. Very good. And slowly lift up. We're going to do a counter pose here. Take your hands behind you. Point your fingers forward if you can, or you can splay the fingers out a little bit. Then bend your knees, plant your feet down into your mat or your floor. And you're going to press into your hands and feet to lift your hips up. So now this is what's called a opposite pose, or a counter pose rather. And in the counter pose, we're taking our body in the opposite range of motion which we took it. So here we're taking our spine to extension, opposite of flexion, opening our body from where we were, which was in a closed folded position. Then slowly lower down, swing your legs around, come onto your hands and knees, and then lay all the way down onto your belly. Now we're moving into spine extension. So we're going to start with Sphinx Pose. So take your forearms down to the mat like two train tracks, or like a railroad track. Forearms in line with the shoulders, elbows beneath the shoulders. Fingertips face forward, and gently lift your chest up like we're a sphinx in Egypt. We're taking a mini trip to Egypt. Now this is there's to be some compression here on your lower back. That's okay. That's the intention here. Also, notice how we're taking the spine in a different direction. So where we were before, we were folded or in flexion, chest towards the legs. Now we're moving in the opposite direction to extension. I'm going to hold in Sphinx Pose for about another 30 seconds. Try to relax your shoulders here down your back. It's also a good stretch for our chest. Abdominal muscles get stretched as well. Then to take it a little further, you have the choice either to just stay here. Sometimes this feels good to just stay here. Or press up for seal pose. So like a seal, you're going to actually turn your hands out a little bit. So the index fingers turn out to the upper edges of our mat. Press into your hands and lift your chest up. So we're taking our spine into more extension here. Spine in towards the chest, so you open up. Keep your legs relaxed. Just drive into the hands and lift the chest up.
for 30 more counts. It's so healthy to take our spine through these ranges of motions. I had a student tell me who they check with their chiropractor, and their chiropractor can't recommend yoga enough for the back. And I love to hear that. I was like, great, good. Love when the medical doctors give the okay, right? The gold standard for taking care of your spine and your body. So know that you're doing something very healthy and kind for yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally. Now very gently, I want you to lower down to your mat and then turn your right head to the floor for a second here. Now we're back in a neutral spine, the natural curve of our spine. And then turn your head the opposite direction to the left. Good. And then come onto your hands and knees. Walk your knees up to through your arms. Cross your ankles. Sit back on your butt. Lay down on your back. So we're going to set up for bridge. So for bridge, we're going to lay down and lift your hips up off the floor. So the feet stay hip width distance. The shoulders root down into the mat. This one we're not going to hold as long. And this is another back bend and chest opener because we're taking the spine here into extension again. So almost like we're making an upside down like C in our chest. Drive into the feet. Lift your pelvis and hips up. Walk your shoulder blades in towards one another. 5 more counts. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower down. Then walk your legs and your feet out so you take a full body stretch here. Arms overhead. And take your feet over to the right edge of your mat. Take your arms up and over to the right edge of your mat. So you're kind of like a banana here. Right? This is called Bananasana. And it's a very subtle shift and stretch, but we're taking the spine to the lateral extension now. So we did lateral flexion and flexion, and here we're doing full extension and lateral extension. Then take your legs over to the left, feet over to the left edge of your mat, your arms up and over to the left edge of your mat, like a big C or a banana curvature there. And then come back to center. And the last rotation or movement for our spine is going to be a twist side to side. So hug both of your knees in towards your chest. And drop your knees to the right. Look over your left shoulder. So now we're taking the spine and rotating it and twisting it in both directions. And all of this is very healthy to do. A little maintenance, self-care, self-love. And they say that you're only as young as your spine. So if you have a healthy spine, a healthy back, carry you through the rest of your days and your life and allow you to move with ease and grace and sit and stand up tall and proud and with dignity instead of being hunched over for all of us, right, when we're always looking at our phone or screens. Take your legs up and over the opposite direction. Look at the opposite direction. And this is just a gentle twist here. This also helps stretch out our lower back, our abdomen, and preparing us for nice, easy rest, restorative recovery focus, nothing forced. Just relax and let the stretch and pose do its thing. And slowly come back to center and Let your arms and legs splay out for Savasana, our resting pose, where we let our nervous system assimilate to all of the changes and adaptations that we've introduced due to our practice. So we allow for the integration of those changes and allow for it to land in our nervous system to soak up all the good, our physical body soak up all the good. It's also a sacred time to just rest and pause and be. To be or not to be. Yeah, to be. Nowhere else we could be than right here. Feel your body. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. And slowly wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rock your head side to side. And roll over onto your right side in a fetal position. Using your arm as a pillow. Slowly press up to a cross-legged easy seat at the front edge of your mat. Sit up tall. Bring your hands together to a prayer. Thumb knuckles to your heart center. We'll close with a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Gently bring your hands up to your forehead. We close all of our practices lightly saying namaste and bowing forward. Good work. Thank you so much for tuning in again. I really hope that you're getting something from these videos. Please feel free to reach out to me at any time with any comments or questions or things that you would like to see. And come practice with us in person at the Riv. We have this studio space and also the gym space. And we practice currently Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. at Hudson River Athletic. So let me know if you have any questions and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.